All right. Let's see if we can get this to work this time. I still hear myself. Do you guys hear me echoing to myself? No? Is it like, can you hear my voice echoing? Okay. As long as you guys can't hear it echoing, then I don't care. I can listen to myself. Okay. So, hi guys. Hey, Lene, you've got both of your coaches on. That's exciting. Hi guys. Serena and Mary, right? And this is Kristen and Lene. You guys know Lene, but Mary, Serena, you guys can, if you hover over their picture, you can see what their names are. Okay, so tonight on our new Coach Zoom. So last week, we went over, oh, for the life of me, I can't remember what we talked about last week. Was it inviting? Is that what we talked about? Is that bad? I should have written it down. I know what we talked about. It'll come to me. This week, we're going to talk a lot about so setting up like your brand of who you are out there on social media, you know, when you talk to people and stuff, but very specifically talking about trying to build your business through social media. So a little background for me, like when I first started, I started kind of more like Kristen did, a little bit more like Lene. Like I had been doing a challenge group for a long time. For me, it was basically a full year before I fully jumped into sort of this, okay, sure, I'll start seeing if other people want to join me, you know, kind of business. I didn't really want to be a business owner at that point. You know, I didn't really want to have the responsibility that came with that title or just even think about that. But I wanted to pay forward like sort of this feeling that I had of like confidence and happiness and, you know, just how good I was feeling. And so I started trying to run challenge groups. And for me, so when I first started, you know, I would do posts, I would do before and after photos, I would talk about my workouts, I would show stuff that I was doing with my kids just on my regular social media, you know, Facebook page. I didn't have like a like page or anything at that point. And that was working really well for me. Hi, Sarah. And because, you know, my friends that knew me had sort of watched my transformation through my coach, Emma, posting about it over a year. So people who knew me personally were like, whoa, you look so different than you did, you know, when I knew you a year ago or whatever. And so when I started talking about, you know, hey, this is what happened for me and you can come join me, I had people join me. It was pretty easy to put it out there, you know, like Kristen, what you're saying, like people were coming to me, you know, I'd talk about, be like, all right, what are you doing? Tell me more about this. Sarah Beth, you can't hear it all. Try going to your audio down in the bottom left and see if you can add in.
Type to her. She can't hear.
Oh, right. Thank you for that. Try checking your audio or using headphones. Try that. Got it. She's good. Oh, she had to turn up her speakers probably, maybe. Okay. So, all right. I like it. Okay, so then the thing is about that same time, talking with my coach, Emma, I decided, you know, I didn't even want to come up with a like page on Facebook because Emma had a like page, you know, other people were, I was like, I didn't want to be like everyone else. I didn't feel comfortable, like, who would follow me? Like, you know, I'm just a normal person. Like, what am I going to put out there on social media that would be of interest to anyone? And so I didn't want to start a like page. And so I went home and I thought about it, and Lene's in two places. And I realized what I really wanted to do is start a blog. I thought maybe if I started a blog, then, you know, I would feel more comfortable sharing my story through that. So I started a blog and I called it Half the Woman I Was. And then I sort of it kind of happened and it came. I was like, you know, having a like page isn't that different than I already had a name for it. I could have people post on it. So that's how I sort of started reaching out on social media. But here's why I wanted to share that. So when I first started, hold on, I'm muting. Okay. When I first started running a business, I was able to find people to buy challenge packs from me, from people that I knew personally, right? My personal friends and families, people who had known me for several years, high school friends, friends from the different places we had lived. That truly lasted about a year. I ran out of people to talk to. Okay. Everybody that was going to try a challenge group at that point had basically seen me posting about it. They knew what I was talking about. And, it wasn't like I had a big influx of people asking me questions all the time. So thankfully, I had started that like page a year before. Okay. So it took me a while to build my following. At the first I was like, yeah, I got 50 people. And then I was like, ooh, 200 people. Every little milestone was like a huge celebration. And over the next, few months, I had started to sort of pay Facebook to advertise my page. I found some sweet little advertisement blobs about my page. I'll talk to you a little bit about how to do that. And my following had grown and grown and grown. Now, then the next transition came from taking those people who I had never met in person, who didn't know who I was or really anything about my story. How do I turn those into challengers that actually buy challenge packs? And that's another transition that came later. So there's sort of these steps that you have to take when you first start your own business. You first start by reaching out and being like, all right, friends and family, this is what I'm doing now. Okay. And some of you will have people that will right away jump on and be like, oh yes, this is amazing. And some people most of the people are going to be, no, I don't really want to have anything to do with that. I'm pretty skeptical of what you're talking about. A lot of people, maybe you don't know a lot of people personally that just have extra funds on hand to buy a challenge pack, So you're going to run into different challenges as you start to just share it with your friends and family. And this is where the value of having a social media where you can reach outside your personal friends and family to find people to work with and to help. And the point of that is they need to be people who are attracted to you and your story. So you have to decide, what is your story? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So your story, my first summit I went to, we went and listened to Lindsay Matway speak. And she was at the time, not even a top 10 coach, I don't think. I think she was just an elite coach. And over that next year, she became the #1 coach. And listening to her speak, my few friends and I that were there at that summit that went, we looked at each other and went, like the whole time we were just like, oh, everything you're saying makes so much sense, right? Why hadn't we thought about this? And one of the things that she said that really was like, oh, this makes so much sense to me, was when you're talking on social media and when you have a page like what I have, or say maybe you want to have a blog, or maybe you want to just focus on Instagram, or maybe you want to focus on, there's still a place out there for Pinterest. Some coaches who have the access to it have started an actual of their own website that has a linked blog that can link, there's lots of things you can do. But I would say don't do all of them because you're going to get overwhelmed. Focus on one. So you pick one, okay? If you think pictures, you like to take pictures and use photography and hashtags, focus on Instagram and learn how to build a following. If you really enjoy writing, then a blog is actually a good place for you. And there's sites that you can go through, like WordPress and some different blogging sites where you pay a monthly fee, but they host your site. So they're promoting your blog to people who would follow you. Very, very wise investment in your business, right? Because if you pay $10 a month on a blogging fee and you hit Success Club 10 every month off of that, you're making, like $250 and spending 10. So every little thing like that you're going to do from here on out is definitely a business expense and a business investment. And it's worth putting a little bit of money set aside to help grow your business in that way. If I wouldn't have been doing that over that first year, by the end of the first year, I would have completely run out of people to talk to. And I would have been starting from scratch. So where you're just getting started, you want to pick something and you want to start sharing your story. Okay. Once you get into whichever medium you're going to use, Instagram, Facebook like page, Pinterest, a blog, who knows? There's probably going to be something else come out soon. Only old people are on Facebook. Like the young kids don't even use it anymore. So I'm sure there's going to be something else come out that somebody could really explode in. And also, I would highly suggest figuring out ways to get involved in your local area, because it's fun to be able, like, we only get to meet, with Zooms. If you can have a local team and local challengers, you can get together in person, and that's really fun. And that's a whole nother market that you can look into. But okay, so you're going to pick your social media. So I'm going to use Facebook because that's what I ended up really growing my business with. And whatever it is, you're going to pick 5 things that makes you who you are. And that is it. You get 5. 4 minimum, 5 max. Okay. So you want to pick 4 or 5 topics that you really want to talk about, because if you start talking about more than that, you become sort of a dabbler in everything. And people have no focus. They don't know who you are, and they don't know what you're going to offer them, basically. So you're going to pick 5 different things, okay, that makes you who you are. So like Kristen, I'm looking at you at the top of my screen here, okay? So you're a mom with 3 kids, and you got a husband who's a medical student. That's a unique thing that none of the rest of us have, right? Okay. So a husband who's in medical school, that's something that you could talk about. The struggles with the financial side, what does that entail? Like not having your husband around all the time because he's so busy. It makes you relatable. Okay. Something else that you could maybe be relatable, one of those is going to be health and fitness, because that's who we are. We're health and fitness coaches. So exercise, nutrition. So my one friend, Carrie, she was a home economics teacher. That was her education. And so she talks all the time about recipes and healthy foods and ingredients. And this is why this ingredient is healthy, because she's very knowledgeable in that. So if you have a special skill like that, like the other Kristen from New Jersey, who's not on tonight, she's a personal trainer certified. So she should use that as one of her things, talk about ways to work muscle groups, increase calorie burn. So pick 5 things. Okay. So I would say one of them is health and fitness. One of them is something that makes you unique, your job, who you are. Maybe you're not married. Maybe you're single. Maybe you're a single mom. Maybe you don't have kids, but you are married. Maybe you're a military wife like me. And then you're also going to want to pick something that makes your life hard. Okay. This is the one thing I think that truly starts to make a difference in the world, is when you find that thing inside of you that's so hard that you can't talk about it. You don't share that with people. And then you start to share it. Okay? Something that makes it hard for you to talk, so hard that if you start really talking about it, you might get choked up and start crying. That's where you're going to really start to affect people's lives. Maybe you had an eating disorder as a child, as a teenager. Maybe you have a really, really, really hard marriage. And talk about relationships and the way that you're growing and you're learning together, because that's where people start to relate to you. When they, one, realize you're a normal person who has struggles, and you'll find people who struggle with the same things, and they're like, but look at you, you're getting healthy, you have this going for you, I can do that too then. Do you see what difference that can make? When you really become, if you talk about all the time how awesome your life is and how healthy you are and I feel amazing, you become very unrelatable. So you have to be vulnerable, be open, be truthful. Okay, so pick one thing that is hard for you to talk about. Health and fitness is in there somewhere, something that sort of makes you unique. And then pick a hobby of yours that you think is fun, something that you're passionate about that could get people excited, share your passion for it. Like one of my passions is traveling, adventuring outside. We love camping and hiking and going to the beach, and we talk about that a lot with my kids. And how much fun it is. And it works for me because that, I can relate that to being so excited about having health and fitness, because now I'm able to do more of these things. I can kind of combine all of this together. Okay, so once you have your 5 things, that's your brand. That's who you are. And when you look at your social media page, and I would even include your personal page, okay, like consider your personal page now on like Facebook or whatever, as like you are a business owner now. So definitely take that into account when you're talking. Now, when I'm talking on my regular Facebook page, I am definitely more I share more funny stories. I share like silly things that my kids say or something that maybe not the whole world would care about. I can be more personal in that way. Because on your Facebook page, page, blog, the thing that you want to focus on is sort of how you are adding value to someone's life. Okay, so you're going to focus on like I said, this thing that's hard for you to share, that's going to add value to someone's life. Sharing a healthy recipe, that's going to add value to someone's life. They're like, yes, I love that. I need that in my life. Maybe you're into fashion and fashion tips then, right? Makeup tips, things like that, things that's going to help someone. Whereas, my Facebook page, I can tell them, my son's joking about farting in the background because that's, they think that's so hysterical, So there can be a little bit of a balance between your day-to-day life and sort of your business page. But definitely, I share some of those things on my like page because I definitely want people to know I'm a real person. I have real struggles and I have a real family, and you have to be relatable. So as you're looking through, if ever you're sort of scrolling through your posts that you've done and you start to see overwhelmingly you're talking only, okay, all I ever talk about is my workouts. That's all everybody's going to see too. So you want to look at it every once in a while at the big picture. Go click on your page and scroll through some of your posts and be like, is there a balance there between who I am? Right? Are there all 5 of these things being represented and talked about every day? And you're going to start sharing those. And by sharing those things, that's how you're going to get more people to follow you and your story, who you're then going to be able to reach and pull into your challenge groups, into your whatever else, so that they become potential customers. Okay, a couple ways to start growing that social media page. Like I said, with a blog, you want to use a hosted site. Blogger is really simple to use and easy, but there's no way to really promote that other than like posting it on your Facebook page, and people don't always click on those. And sometimes Facebook, their whatever they use, their mathematical equation just say who sees what posts. Sometimes those posts get pushed to the bottom. Sometimes it's very unpredictable how Facebook is going to promote those. So using a hosted site is a good way to go. There's a couple. I can give you one besides WordPress here because I can't think of the name of it, but there's a couple you can use. Instagram, you're going to want to research hashtags, right? You're going to want to really go into hashtagging. You're going to delve in, do some good research, maybe pay to do Chalene Johnson's, no, what's her name? Chalene, is that their last name? Why can't I think? Yeah, right? Thank you. Pay to do like her Instagram training, that like it's an invest, like $100 or something. That would be an investment in your business. It would help you a lot. Or find somebody else who's an expert in that. With Facebook specifically, if you have a like page that you're trying to grow your business with, you're going to want to start using ads and boosting posts and videos for like $5, set aside $5 or $10 a week, however you think you can fit that into your budget, and choose the post that has the most likes and comments and boost it for that week. Okay. And you can choose between your followers and their friends, or you can choose a target audience. And I rotate between those two because sometimes I want to get likes on my page, new followers, through just random people. And sometimes it's easier to match the people who I already know and their friends, and it reaches outward. But if you start doing their friends and their follows, well, you end up reaching a lot of other Beachbody coaches because we're all sort of interconnected at this point, right? Like we all know somebody who knows somebody. So you're paying to reach people who have already been reached, basically. So I like to alternate between those two and pick wisely which one I'm using. There's a lot of rules that Facebook has, like as far as boosting or promoting with ads with before and after photos. Can't do those. So you have to use something else. A single photo. There's limits on how much word, you'll learn that as you go. Just start experimenting with it. But just like I said, consider how much money you will make each month if you hit Success Club 10. Okay. If it's $50 each, it's 5. So you get $250. So I wouldn't spend more than $250 in advertising for sure, because you're not going to make that back, not in 1 month. But $10, $20, $30, it's definitely worth it if you can make $250 in challenge pack sales. So start thinking about that. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about tonight is just tracking really quickly, and then we'll go to questions if anybody have questions. So write stuff down if you think of questions. Okay, so Beachbody has several tools that they've provided for you. I've come up with one that you're welcome to use because the Beachbody tools just didn't really mesh inside my mind. You can try some of those, and if those don't work, pick something else that does work for you. I know, again, one of the trainings that they have, and it's available in the Coach Online office, and if you want to check it out, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's a little bit longer. It's like about I guess they're like 45 minutes to an hour. One of the classes at Summit last year was activities that basically change you from being a hobby coach to a full-time coach, like owning a business. And those are critical behaviors. They're perfect to have. So instead of sort of dabbling in, I'll share with somebody every once in a while when I feel like it, if I run into them to the park, as opposed to I need to replace my income. I need to provide a steady income for my family. I have goals. I want to buy a house someday. I want to take my family on trips. Or, if you have those kind of visions with being able to make money, then you want to go from being a hobby coach to a full-time coach, basically. You want to think about those activities that you need. And one of the most critical is tracking your business, right? No other business in the world is going to not track how many sales they're making every day, every month, how much money they're spending on advertising. So just writing those things down and keeping track. And also for tax purposes next year, anything you spend in advertisement, you can write off. Okay. Any gifts or prizes that you give away, keep receipts. You can write those off. Okay. My workouts, I loan those to people and and I use them at fit clubs and stuff. So I write those off. Shakeology, I do not, because it's really my own personal use unless I buy a pack to give away. So you have to keep separate receipts for those. But tracking, for Beachbody, they have a few things. So inside the Coach Online office, in news and training, reference material, I think is what they keep changing the names for everything. So go into the news and training and tools, business tools. It's under one of those. And it might be under like the Coach and the Emerald link now as well. Know this, use this. It's under one of those now. They keep kind of rearranging it. I got to catch up to where it's at. But they have the business activity tracker, the BAT. And they also have contact list that you can print out. And it's literally just a list that you could write names in and keep track of them and give yourself a note for, oh my gosh, this one alone would have like transformed my business a couple of years ago if I would have started doing this, writing down the names of everybody that I talked to, and one of the coaches at Super Saturday said on the video, she said she just wrote down their name. She had a check mark for when she invited them to a challenge group, a check mark for when she followed up. And then when they bought a challenge pack, she crossed their name off the list and they moved into another list of current challengers and current customers, right? You get their email information at that point. So potential customers, some way to track potential customers. If you've talked to them, so your initial contact, getting to know them, you can jot down a little bit of information to remind yourself who they are, where they live, single mom, works 3 jobs, something like that will remind you when you follow up with them, you're not just starting another conversation. And then also another place where you can mark off when you've like actually invited them to join you in some sort of challenge and then cross their name off and move them into the customer list. And then the other one that they provide is the coach tracker list. And so it shows you people you've talked to about the business, when they joined a Coach Basics group, when they joined an Emerald. So all of these trainings that they have in the back office, you can track where your coaches are and passing those off as well. So those are 3 things that Beachbody provides that are really, and the 4th one is the leadership roadmap. And the leadership roadmap, so Sarah, if you go to, you know what, I'm going to post them in Team Hope too. I think most of those are actually already in there in the files, but they're also in the Coach Online office and the news and training. They keep changing the name there used to be a tab on the left-hand side that said reference material, and that's where it was. But now it might be inside the Coach and Emerald training, know this, learn this, and those documents. But business activity tracker, contact list, coach tracking sheet, and then the leadership roadmap. And the leadership roadmap is going to be sort of more confusing at first because you have very small teams, if any. So like Lene, on your leadership roadmap, you'd have Mary and Serena, and you would write their names down, and you write down what their goals are for Success Club each month, and you can help follow up with them. Kristen, the same works for you with like your cousin Vanessa. Okay, you're going to write their names down, what their goals are, and then when they want to try and be an Emerald coach, just so you can help your coaches follow up with their own goals as well. That's what the leadership roadmap is for. So this is something valuable for both Kristen and Lene that we should go over and get you started thinking about. And it gives you a goal for how many coaches you need to try and have sign up so that you can reach the next rank or level or whatever. It gives you an idea of where your goals are, and it also tracks your income on that. So it says, okay, by December, I need to be making $2,000 a month. Well, in order to do that, then this is what you need to do in June, July, August, September, October. So we can back those up, and I can help you see what kind of work you would need to put in to reach that goal. So what are the other most valuable just tips that I think I've ever heard? And it was Jeff Hill during the leadership retreat. We got to go to the sales department headquarters in Utah with Jeff Hill as the vice president over sales of the company and his little group that works there. When you guys reach diamond level, you have someone from corporate who you get to work with in a group like this that you meet on a Zoom, and they help you with your goals and make them achievable and stuff. 2-star, 5-star, 10-star, they all have somebody that they get to work with through corporate directly, not just your upline coach. And this is sort of an actually kind of newer program. And so we got to go meet Jeff Hill, and he came and talked to us all. And by the end, honestly, we were all just bawling. There's something about stupid Beachbody events. They're so emotional. Like, everybody's always crying, like, oh, you know. And the thing I think he said that was the most valuable to me was, you know, here's what I need you to do. I need you today to decide, what are you going to do? You need to draw your line in the sand, basically, and say, I'm in this. This is where I want to go. So he said, you know, if right now you're going to decide, I want to be an elite coach this year, that's awesome. Decide it. But just so you know, you need to do this, this, this. This is how many hours you're going to need to put in every day. You need to figure out that. Okay, so if I want to be an elite coach this year, that means I need to have 5 diamond coaches by the end of the year, which means I need to sign at least 4 new coaches every single month. And if I'm going to sign 4 coaches every month, I need to be talking to 40 people every month about the coaching opportunity, which is, you know, about 1.5 a day, 2 a day. You know, you got to break those down. And when you start breaking those down and you go, whoa, that is too much, right? I'm going to like completely abandon my family. I do not have 2 hours a day to dedicate to inviting and training new coaches. Then you need to just change your goal. So you either need to set your goals and change your activities so that you can reach those goals, or if you realize those activities are just not going to work for you, then just lower your goals. So figure out where you want to go, what you want this year, next year out of the business. We'll talk about me. This is me and you. You know, or Lene, you're going to talk with Serena and Mary about this, and I'm going to talk with you 3 personally, and we're going to decide, okay, if you want to be a diamond coach by December, this is what you need to put in every day to make that happen. And you go, yeah, okay, I can totally make that work. I need 1 hour in the morning. I need a half hour at night. I can do this. Or you go, whoa, 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 whoa. I do not have the time or the energy. This is not the phase of life that I'm ready for that. Okay, let's step back your goals then. Maybe your goals are going to be lower. That makes sense. So that was the most valuable tip I heard as far as just sort of tracking your business and setting goals, is make sure that your priorities align with your goals. Or you have to either change your priorities or change your goals. One of those two. So think about it over the next, week or so. What are your priorities and what do you want from this business? Because sometimes, really we're wasting so much time that we could be putting in valuable time. Sure, for over this next year. So let's say 1 year from when you signed up. Okay, what do you think you want? Where do you want to be? How much money do you think you want to be making by that point? Maybe you don't even want to think about it like that. Maybe you're thinking, I really just want to kind of run challenge groups every month. I don't really want to worry about sort of doing this, like having team calls and building and mentoring and building a team. That was stressful to me to think about doing. But I will tell you, for an example, if you're not actively trying to build a business, if you just want to sort of run challenge groups and you kind of hit Success Club when people are ready and not when they're not, I found I reached a salary cap. Okay. I cap out. I can't go past a certain point without sort of this other side of like a business and a team growing with me. So if you want to have if you want to make $250,000 a year, if that's your goal, well, there's certain things you're going to have to do to make that happen. Okay. And I can help you. I actually have a pretty good idea now of how to backtrack those goals. I can tell you exactly how many people you need to invite every day, how much, you need to post on social media. I got it all figured out exactly what it's a numbers game. It truly is. However many people you invite 100 people. Out of those, so many are going to say yes. So if you want to have Success Club 5 every month, you can't invite 5 people the whole month because not all 5 are going to say yes. Maybe 1 month you'll get really lucky and all 5 will say yes, but it won't really happen. So we can talk about the numbers and the amount of time. But in the meantime, the tracking will become important in that and knowing where you are on reaching those goals. So the thing that I came up with that worked much better for me was the daily to-do list that I've passed on. I've posted it. It's just those daily activities that I need to do in order to hit Success Club 5 every month, find new people to sign up to coach, and find time to mentor those coaches. And the daily to-do list is specifically for your own business, for hitting Success Club, getting new customers, all that kind of stuff. So that's another thing. And then there's the powers of threes. There's even a document. I'll have to get it from Chelsea. The group that we're doing, you can write down the 3 names, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 of everything. It's a document. So use something to track your business. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's a to-do list that you put on your phone and you just check it off every day. That was sort of the idea behind the daily to-do list for me. It was easier for me just to go, yes, I did that. Yes, I did that. Yes, I did that. Rather than go at the end of the day and be like, okay, who bought a challenge pack today? What was their name? Who did it? I just felt like busy work to me. But maybe your mind works better that way. The business activity tracker is a better. So look at them and see which one works for you, but use something. Okay, so we went over a lot today. So branding, picking 5 things, okay, and then using something to track your business and keep track of where everything is. And honestly, the number one thing I would do, again, I keep saying it, is buy a calendar and put it by your computer so that you can look at your calendar and go, okay, June 1st is my next challenge group. And then the next one is June 14th. I know my upcoming 2 challenge groups, and my free cleaning group, I know I need to start that next Monday, which means, I need to advertise it on this day. And then that's going to lead into this, so I have it backed up. I know when my next Coach Basics groups is going to start, my next What is Coaching open house, and then I can invite you to those things. Anyway, using a calendar is just another great way, something visual. It didn't work for me on my computer. I can't look at it all the time and see the whole picture. So a cheap wall calendar is something that you can invest in your business, and it will help a lot too. Okay. Whew. You got it all out. Okay. Any more chats that I missed while I was talking? For next year. Yes, where are they? Okay, gotcha. So if you have questions, just unmute and we'll hit it. Maybe I have questions from all of that. I feel like I'm out of breath.
I just started my page. I don't want to flood people with a whole bunch of posts, and I have a very small following, so I'm not sure if I should do 3 every day. I feel like people are going to get tired of hearing me. So,
I would say 3 every day. Just make sure it's one of your 5 things, so that's something different. So 1 can be about a workout, but that's it. Then you need to pick something else for your other 2 posts during the day. And it can be something funny. It can be silly. You could go grab, for now, quotes from Pinterest that you're just like, oh, that is amazing. Yes, something that just really strikes you is awesome. Share that for a little while. Don't overthink it too much. Don't try and, but something that you find valuable that you can share with your followers 3 times a day. Because the only thing is that you want them to get used to sort of consistency is also important. They can predict when you're going to be around. So every morning, everybody knows I'm posting my workout video, right? They know it's coming. They're waiting for it. They want to know what workout I'm doing, so they know it's the consistency. And if I miss a day, everybody's like, hey, I noticed that you weren't around. People tell me that now all the time. Like, oh yeah, sorry, I was actually sick. I've been so sick or something. So having consistency and letting your followers kind of have that predictable, okay, I know I'm going to hear from Sarah Beth on Sundays all about this, sort of same thing with blogging. They say you should post the same time of day, the same day of the week, whenever, same thing with your Facebook page. As you get going, you'll sort of start to figure out, and you can look, Facebook will track for you when more people see your posts. It's like, so for me, 8:30 to 9:30 Eastern time, PM at night is my high view hours. That's when most people see the things that I post. So I always post my most important things at that time of day.
How does it track it? Like, how do you know?
You go onto your like page and you go into Insights tab, and it tells you. It tells you who's looking at it, where they live, their ages, all of these things. So you can start to narrow your audience down. So, and when you're advertising, that comes in handy, right? So when I advertise, I also only advertise for the United States and Canada right now, because that's where we have the business. That's where I want followers to come from, because you can't own a business in Europe right now. I actually have a lot of followers in Europe, but it doesn't do me really any good. They can't buy from us. So.
Oh, they can't buy from you? I thought they just couldn't coach.
They can't coach. They can buy if they have like an American credit card and an American address. So military is different, but like Europeans can't. They can buy from the international department, and I think they even get assigned coaches, but it's not like they can go through your page. They have to buy it through the international department. It works weird. It all has to do with Beachbody's licensing in those countries.
What happens if you're military and you get stationed there and you're a coach already? You have to put everything on hold?
Yep. There's tons of people who are like in Okinawa, for example, or Germany. You have the FPO APOs, so they can send them to you, and you can work with the military on base around you. But, your website is going to continue to, like my Facebook page, it doesn't change at all. So it's actually a great job for military because I could live Hawaii and Maryland and it doesn't change my business hardly at all. I'm still talking to the same people every day. So you just continue to grow it that way. Local fit clubs, you would only want to, you could invite other people, but you want to focus on like the military families, right? Because they're the ones that can actually sign up under you and be coaches and all that kind of stuff. So, anyone else? Thoughts on tracking your brand? We don't have to talk about, think about your priorities in your life. Like if one of your priorities is to spend time with your family, being a top 10 coach is probably not a goal you want to have, right? And like Melanie Mitro, she got daycare, full-time daycare for her 2 boys, and she works 8 to 10 hours a day at Beachbody, right? It's a full-time job for her. So if that's your goal and that's what you want, well, then this is what you have to do to make that happen, right? If that's not your goal, we'll just align those. So think about those, what your priorities are, and kind of then what maybe you want to happen. And I can help you be realistic in your goal setting, aligning with your priorities and how much time and the activities involved in reaching those goals. So we'll do some follow-up with that. And Lydia, you get to follow up with your coaches. Yay, it'll be so fun. Okay, anyone else? Questions? Because I'm going to go to bed. What, Sarah? Yes, I see it.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
I'm having an awkward moment. I just signed up on Monday. However, I brought multiple people to Beachbody, to different coaches that I thought would be good for them. Now I'm getting messages from people that I sent them to other people, and they're like, I would rather have you. We're close. I want to have you. This person's either not a good match for me, or this person's not actively coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to handle it because I don't want to, burn any bridges or, step on toes or anything.
Okay.
So I'm not sure how to.
Okay, I actually have a good answer for this one for you. Well, something that's worked for me, and then you can figure it out for what works for you. As I've done this a lot, I have found that it is absolutely true that not every Beachbody coach can help every person. So if somebody says to you, I just feel more comfortable working with you, don't push them to the other coach. Say, okay, then I want to help you. Okay. And as a Beachbody coach, I do not take offense when somebody says, another coach who says, hey, like one of your customers reached out to me. They said they really want to join my challenge group. They feel really I was like, do it then, because that means you're able to help them. They're drawn to you for a reason, and that is okay. It is okay with me. It is okay with you. And I wouldn't feel bad about it. Especially for coaches who are not now actively coaching and stuff. That happens a lot. In fact, I truly started telling, but in fact, Sarah Beth, I think you're one of those people I said this to, is like, honestly, I used to encourage people to just, if you have a best friend that's a coach, support them. I totally understand, sign up with them. But then that best friend doesn't even end up coaching, and they end up coming back to me and like, I need help. I really want to do this, but my coach is, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I can help you, but I'm investing a lot of my time then for absolutely free, and I have limited amount of time. Right. I already am, I have other things I have to do, and I have coaches I need to help. So I'll help you kind of as I can. So I kind of started telling people that, if you think you might really want to do this and your neighbor signs up, think about, just know I'm in this for real. I'm here. I'm serious. I'm staying, I will be here 2 years from now, and I have seen it. So just think about it. And I am okay with whatever you choose to do. Right. And I put it back on them, but just, I don't ever just say, yeah, sure. Do it with your friend. Yeah. It's like, okay, but just so you know, this has happened a lot to people that I have coached, and then they've ended up coming back to me. And if you sign up to coach with someone else, and you realize it's not working for you, if you cancel your coaching account, you then have to wait 6 months before you can sign up with a new coach. As a customer, you can transfer anytime. So if it's a customer, it's not even a big deal. That's fine. Transfer over. You know, if they're relating to you and they want to join your challenge group, that's fine. If somebody is one of my, and this goes back, anyway, it's fine. I would not feel bad about it. If they're related to you, if they're friends of yours and they want to support you and they feel like they relate to you, then you can help them and you should help them. That's what I think. So, and as a coach, you understand that works the other way sometimes. They don't relate to you for whatever reason. That's okay too. So don't take offense to it either way. Just let them go to who they need help with too. Good? Anyone else? No? All right, guys. Well, thanks for taking the time to get on tonight. It's good to see some smiling faces once I got on here. And I'm going to stop recording so that this isn't forever long for everybody.